Dan read a poem that has a history, a personal history, between me and a friend who just came in. I think, Lynn, you were the last person in. Lynn Gray, who many of you know. We met in the 80s, back at First Friends. Anyway, she sent me the poem a couple weeks ago, and I didn't remember that I had sent it to her, but I knew I had. But she didn't get it from me the time she sent it to me last week. She got it from Brenda Ash, who's now the pastor of New Garden Friends. So this poem is running around us Quakers here in Piedmont, North Carolina. And I would invite you to feel free to take it wherever you go, because it is beautiful. It tells us that you and I are part of this story. To be human, the poet says, is to become visible. The thought followed the smile. So quickly followed the smile that had I not been watching with the eyes of my heart, I might have said the thought was first. But I see now how that would not have worked. How a thought without a smile leading the way would be much heavier than it had to be. Let's call the smile light. And I don't have to explain why, do I? And we'll call the thought creation, which is a first motion into something new, yet not thought of at all until the light showed the way. First light, then creation, which is, as I said, only movement into that which is new. We could call it imagination. And the smile and the light and the thought and the creation were with God and were God in the beginning, which is where our story starts. And the darkness cannot overcome it. In his prologue, the gospel writer writes, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him, all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all humankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Do you see what I see? Do you hear what I hear? Do you know what I know? December is a snuggly month for me these days. And when I'm sitting near the patio window, late at night or early in the morning, waiting either for dark to happen again or for light to happen again, this year I've been listening for Christmas. I rarely have my television on, and poor Alexa just sits there in the dining room waiting for me to ask for a song or for her to answer a question. She doesn't know I just don't have any questions I can't answer myself. My radio is mostly just a clock these days, and all of this silence feeds my soul. Noise disrupts me. It disturbs me. So I sit or stand or walk or lie down to go to bed in silence pretty much. yet listening for Christmas. The song, "Do You See What I See?" asks if those around see or hear or know what the wind or the shepherd boy or the mighty king sees and knows and hears. And it seems as though those are the silliest questions I have ever heard. Do you see what I see? No, you don't see what I see. Do you hear what I hear? No, you do not. Do you know what I know? Well, you might touch on it a little bit. But the difference between what you see and hear and know and what I see and hear and know is so vast that sometimes it seems as though we cannot even be part of the same species. And since it's December, and since Christmas is in 4 days, of course it's the differences in Christmas that I'm pondering. How do you keep Christmas? If there were only one Christmas word for you, what would it be? Would your word, like Mary's, be the simplest of all? Just a yes. And here comes the hard part. What would have to be taken from your busy life for you to be able to say yes to Christmas? Let's stay there just a minute. Another version of this question, which is one of my favorites to ponder, but more than that, it's one of my favorites to ask other people to ponder, and it is not an easy question. What would you be willing to give up so that someone else could have enough? Say it again. What would you be willing to give up so that someone else would have enough? Mary said yes, though she knew she could be, possibly would be, shamed for getting herself pregnant, as Tom Mullen used to say, for being pregnant before she and Joseph were married. She risked her reputation, which is, as most of us know, not a small thing. What would it, could it, does it take to say yes to something that requires so much courage? And where will we find the courage? Does keeping Christmas this year require more courage than usual for you? Has the condition our country and our world and our neighbors are in dramatically challenged the way Christmas is being kept in your house? What have you given up this Christmas so that others could have enough? You know, when I typed that question the second time, I had to laugh because so many of us in this room have enough that we could spend everything we've spent for the last 47 Christmases and still have enough to share with other people because we are fortunate people. Some to one degree and some to another, but we can share and still have what we want. But what do we have to give up to ensure that many others have enough warmth, food, clothing, shelter, safety? Safety? In a prayer, Kate Moeller writes, "Our immigrant neighbors are terrified. Show us what we must do. Transform our helplessness into acts of mercy. Show us how love does not look away." I'm not sure only our immigrant neighbors are the only ones terrified in this scenario in which we're living. But what frightens us is as real as what frightens them, though not as immediate perhaps, and not as absolute. But what if our money runs out before we do? What if it doesn't last as long as we live? What if that lump isn't just a swollen gland? What if my children move to Japan or to even Fort Worth? What if my son dies? Oh, I could go on with the list of fears, but I'll return to Mary's yes instead. What did Mary say yes to? My memory of what the gospel writers Matthew and Luke tell, the way they tell the story, and of course Mark doesn't worry about the birth of Jesus, as John doesn't really. Matthew and Luke tell the story one way, and when I think of that, I want to say Mary said, "Yes, Holy One, I'll have your baby boy." But that's really not enough of an answer for me. So imagination, which is just another word for creativity, wants me to say that Mary said, "Yes, Holy One, I'll be your vessel once again to remind the world of your love." Yes, Holy One, I will be your vessel to remind the world of your love. Looking again at John's gospel and noticing that, as I said, he writes nothing of a pregnant virgin nor an infant child, but that he does write of what was born from God on that second beginning, the one we read about in John's gospel. I have a new insight. That's just a Judith insight that I'll offer you to ponder. And we read, the Word was God, and the Word was with God. The Word, or Logos, is the creative act. It is the part of creation that speaks it into being. In Genesis, God speaks the world into being. In John, the Word speaks light and life into being again. John gives us a message for a forgetful world. And I think we need to remember it far more frequently than we sometimes do. Maybe for us at this moment in our history, John also reminds us, and the darkness did not overcome it. I love John's gospel for reminding us that Jesus Christ is in motion. Jesus Christ is a process that has much less to do with the virgin birth than it does to do with you and me and what we decide is the best way for us to keep Christmas. To simplify John's words, I hear him saying that Christ is born with God fully formed within, and that within Jesus Christ are light and life and creativity, and that no matter what we may think about the dark clouds swirling above us and around us and in and through us, the darkness does not overcome the light. So, instead of following the money, as Jerry Maguire did in that movie, let's follow the light. Where you see light, literally, as in nature, or figuratively, as in a loved one's homemade cookies, Carolyn, Where you see light, follow that light, because that is God being made manifest in the world. Where you are light, for each of you is light, you are God being made manifest in the world. Dear God, that's a responsibility, isn't it? To be made manifest, for God to be made manifest in you, in me. Where you see life, literally, as in the birthing of a puppy or a human baby, or figuratively, as in the laughter of little girls with their heads together on a swing set telling secrets to each other. Follow that life, for that is God being made manifest in the world. And where you are life, you are God being made manifest in the world. Where you see creativity, literally, as in watching your grandson color a world the way it ought to be, with rainbows everywhere. He's 4. Or figuratively, as when you realize that the computer in your pocket can do more than any other computer could do, no matter how big it was. We just have all this creativity right in our pockets sometimes. Follow that creativity, and the child coloring and the computering, and follow it, because that is where God is being made manifest in the world. When you are creative, imaginative, where you are in motion, bringing something new and light and living into the world, whether it's an idea, whether it's a playful thought, whether it is a visit with wonderful pastries from Trader Joe's, which is a hit for the rest of you, by the way, just in case. You are God being made manifest in the world. Now, one thought I didn't even think of until right this second, so it's not from my script, but it is that you are love. When you are the light and the life and the creative imagination, you are love. And John's gospel tells us better than anything else, God is love. When you are in motion, bringing something new and light and living into the world, you are God being made manifest in the world. Mary's yes wasn't just about having a baby. Mary's yes is about doing the work she was given to do. And that's what our yeses are meant to be about too. For it is within each one of us that God is light and life and creativity and love. Yes, love is being made manifest in the world through each one of us. Yes to God in motion. Yes to God in motion. Yes to becoming human and therefore visible as God in motion. Yes to being true to Christmas.